Hey everybody, we got an exciting episode today. We got to go see the premiere of Avengers Endgame.
That's right, Braith. We had some fans over in the Marvel Corporation. They flew us out to jolly old London, England for the world premiere.
Again, want to say thank you so much to everybody that brought us out. We had such a great time. I love these movies. Let's
Absolutely.
get into it. All right, and we're back.
Oh, are we coming back?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back. That's right, Braith. I absolutely couldn't believe it, but it turns out that we had a couple of fans inside the Disney Corporation. So we briefly mentioned before the intro, but I want to say once again, thank you to Kayla and everybody on the Disney team.
Jeremy.
Just all of them. Amit, thank you so much.
Everybody was so accommodating and just wonderful to be around.
I mean, I knew that we have some fans across the globe, but I just truly didn't expect that we would get invited to London for the premiere of such an anticipated movie.
I feel like this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Everybody I know is excited for this movie. We're a couple of film buffs. We know that, but we don't like to touch on movies too much. We're making a special exception because of the opportunity that we were given. Again, just thank you so much to everybody that took us out.
Thank you, guys.
This was such a treat.
Absolutely. And you mentioned we love movies, but there are so many different film critic shows out there that we usually don't cover this sort of thing. But how could we not, talk about something like this?
Truly a momentous occasion.
I'm just glowing after this event.
I can't get over it. I had so much fun. It was such a wonderful movie. We will not be discussing any sort of spoilers or anything. We'll just be giving our feelings on the experience.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it was amazing. And, I'm a big fan of this series of films, especially Captain America 1 is my absolute favorite. Mm-hmm. I love that film. I love the character, Captain America. And so to get to see his kind of story arc after the events of the previous film, to see how it plays out, I was so excited for it.
Absolutely. For those that don't know, the Avengers movies is kind of a collection of a bunch of movies all starring different sort of superheroes. And this is kind of the big one of all the different superheroes coming together to fight evil. In the last one, we were left on a cliffhanger. We didn't really know what was going to happen. And they kind of addressed that in this new one of what exactly happened after the instances of the last movie.
In a way, this is the end game of this chapter, the first chapter of the Avengers and the kind of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, we've been following the movies, we've been following these characters for so long, to be able to be the first in the world to kind of witness the way this story played out. I truly am I'm floating on a cloud. I feel like I'm flying with Iron Man right now, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a wonderful way to put it. Keeping in character with the films. Iron Man's another one of the Avenger characters, and he's a superhero. He has a suit that he made that can fly around. Such a fun character, such a fun movie. We can't talk about any of the specific characters that were in this movie, but we do want you to know that it's a blast. It's a lot of the previous Avengers from different movies that we've grown to love over the years, and they're just finally all in. Well, they were all in one movie before together, but this is kind of the sequel to the last big one, and this is essentially the biggest of the superhero movies.
Absolutely, and without getting into specifics, seeing kind of the way that the characters interact, the way that they speak with each other, kind of the humorous moments, but also the heartbreaking moments, because there's some more serious events that happen in the previous film and that play out in this one.
Yeah.
And so to see the characters and just having all of them, I felt like a kid in a candy store.
I think that's a big thing to touch on in reviewing this film, is that despite it being a superhero film of a bunch of imaginary people and creatures, there is a human element to this, and we're seeing a lot of the feelings behind the characters, how they interact with each other. It's so touching to see them just care for each other like this and come together in the face of evil.
Absolutely. So even with all the technical wizardry on screen, I couldn't help but feel like, are these characters, is this how Robert Downey Jr. actually feels in this scene? Because he's tearing up, he's crying. And I felt like it went past just the character of Iron Man, or not to confirm or deny whether or not he's in the film, but he's in some of the commercials, so
Yeah.
he is in the movie. But anyway, to see his reaction, I felt like some of the real person was coming through on screen, and it really spoke to me.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the artistry of the actors behind the characters. You are seeing the emotions of the superheroes that we love on screen, but they are played by real human people, or in some instances are motion captured, which is a computer technology in making films to get some more kind of weird out there. In fact, the gentleman you're portraying right now is Hulk, and in the previous movies, Hulk was kind of, Mark Ruffalo was captured through little tennis ball or ping pong balls on his outfit. What's that?
Is that true?
Yeah, he was. He did the acting for a computer, but that took it into a bigger machine and used. I think they call them algorithms and machine learning to kind of make him green and bigger, because he's not that big in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. This actually, I have to be honest, I got to confess, this is actually the first film that I've seen that features the Hulk character. I haven't seen the previous Avengers films, but I am familiar with other Marvel films, and I am a big fan of kind of comic strips in general. So for me, if it's based on a comic strip, I'm there day one. But somehow I didn't, end up seeing the other films featuring Hulk character.
Yeah, but being the world premiere, we got to see some of the people that worked on the film, and everybody was so excited to be there just to show all their hard work that they've been putting years into, I'm sure, because there's so many visual effects that you're seeing on screen at once, and it just takes a group of people just to pull off even one sometimes.
Absolutely. That was something that was one of the most breathtaking aspects of the film, was actually the length of the credits. We're talking minimum 10 minutes, possibly longer, because there's so many different artists across the world. And to me, that's something that I really loved about the film, is just when you really think about filmmaking, it's everybody coming together to work for one common good, and to create such a work of art such as this. It was amazing. And to be at the premiere, and, we have to be honest, we're just a couple of critics. We can't expect that we'll be getting FaceTime with some of the stars who are there: Scarlett Johansson, Ant-Man, Thor.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get to talk to him, but even to just see someone like Ant-Man walk by is really emotional, and it's amazing. And the Russo brothers were there, and to get to see the red carpet and the whole situation right there in the heart of London, England, was amazing. And it really it was poignant to see how many people really worked on the film in a way.
Yeah, and touching back on the credits themselves, this may be a very minor spoiler, just a heads up, but if you do stick around to watch all of the different people that worked on this movie, you are treated with a little bit of an Easter egg, if you will. It's a hidden scene at the end of the movie. Typically, you'd see these in a DVD extra or something, but they put this at the end of the credits. So once you are done respecting everybody and you can see all the work, they have like one final piece that everybody worked on together, and just to show how meaningful it is to bring all these people together to work on one project, and it's spectacular.
I thought that was really interesting. I've never seen that in a movie before, so I thought that was cool to have a little moment right at the end after, because we're kind of waiting, and it's the atmosphere is electric. We can see the people who worked on the film. So of course I'm going to stick through the credits. Usually I'll go to the bathroom or something like that, but to see also you think it's over and then something else comes up was really, really cool.
Yeah, and the bonus feature did not have any sort of commentary on the thing itself. You're getting it in its raw form, so it's not exactly like a DVD extra, but I'm sure when the actual DVD comes out, you can probably turn on commentary on that little scene and kind of go into everything that went into it.
I buy mine on iTunes, but sometimes they do actually include the iTunes extras.
Yeah, you just have to go to the menu, and then on the bottom bar, there's a special features tab. You scroll over to there, and you can turn on, if it's provided, commentary from either the director or some of the actors that were in the film. Being the world premiere, we were actually able to see some of the people that created the film. Thankfully, they didn't talk too much during the movie, but everybody gets excited. They laugh and cry. But we didn't get too much sort of insider knowledge on the actual creation.
That's true.
I guess that's my one gripe with the kind of scenarios. I thought maybe they'd be telling us more about how it was made while we were watching.
I personally didn't expect anything like that. You know, it's a big premiere, but I respect your opinion.
Thank you. I don't like it during I guess I'm glad it didn't happen, but I do like watching it with commentary after the initial viewing. And of course, being the premiere, this was the first viewing.
So one of the most amazing things about this entire experience was, I mean, just knowing that people inside Disney who've made some of the best movies of all time, they are fans of our show, and they flew us out there, and the entire experience was just beautiful. You know, they put us in a jet plane. We flew all the way across the United States.
Which is an absolutely remarkable technology. I don't know if any of you have flown on a plane before. I feel very honored to have been able to do so, but
yeah,
the fact that we made it to London, England, when you look at a globe, that is so far away from where we are. And just to ride in a plane that took us there
truly, I mean, even just thinking about, 100 years ago, this type of technology didn't exist. So
exactly.
that we're going all the way from San Francisco, California to London, England, in jolly old London, England.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And they do call it jolly old London, England when you're there, which I thought was just a fun little affectation that I picked up on the trip. And so to go there, and I mean, you can tell them about some of the sites that we saw while we were there. They set us up in this hotel, and well, just talk about it a little bit.
Real quick before I get into that, we thanked the Disney staff that brought us out, but I do want to give a shout out to the flight attendants as well on the planes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were bringing us snacks, free drinks. I got, I think, 3 Sprites, and I didn't have to pay a cent.
Yeah, I got like a little box. It was cost about $8-9, but I'm getting crackers in there. I'm getting cheese. I had a little bit of salami, which
I was envious of that. I did not get that myself.
We're going to Europe. Salami is an Italian food. It's a European food, so I felt like I was flying right into the heart of where this food comes from. It gave me a little bit of that heritage for the trip.
Yeah, it looked delicious. But getting back to the sites, oh my gosh, London is absolutely gorgeous. They have, what was he called? Big Ben, the clock tower?
Big Ben.
Big Ben is a big clock tower. It's at the edge of a building, and it's just, you can look at the side of it's kind of the thing that juts up from the top, and it has the accurate time. And
which is cool.
Yeah.
Piccadilly Circus is absolutely beautiful. You got the double-decker buses, which is, you're thinking, is that one bus or two? Because it looks like 2 buses.
I was thinking it was one, but it is tall.
It's one bus, but it actually has 2 levels to it, so it's amazing.
That's kind of an iconic, if you see a movie set in London, unfortunately Avengers was not, but they'll have, for instance, the Austin Powers movies, they have these double-decker buses, they're red, but you have one layer and then a second layer. It doesn't look like 2 buses. It only looks like one.
It looks like 2 maybe stacked up on top. That's what
I
meant.
The height-wise,
I meant.
Okay. But yeah, it's so accommodating to fit a large group of people in there.
So we're riding on the double-decker buses. We're seeing everything. We went, West End, East End, all over London. We're riding the tube, as they call it over there. I really was blown away. I've never been across the pond, which is another, thing that they say over there. And just even the idea of walking into a British pub and ordering, some tea and crumpets was amazing. And sitting down and just seeing the local, the local people walking around, minding their own business. Beautiful, people wearing Burberry hats with the plaid all over it. It just looks
everybody
cool.
Was so friendly and
stylish,
very fashionable. Yeah,
stylish, absolutely.
That's a huge thing in Europe. Apparently, is just fashion. Everybody is so well put together. And it was not lost on me. There was a lot of beautiful people in beautiful clothes, and it just was a gorgeous experience.
Yeah, and some of the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life. Bangers and mash and what was the green stuff? Like there's like a green kind of. It's like it's smashed. I don't know. It's like a green. I don't know. Anyways, it was a kind of a green. It looked like mashed potatoes, but it was green. It was delicious.
What are you talking about?
Mushy peas, baby. Let's not even get started on one of my favorite foods of all time, fish and chips.
Oh,
beautiful.
Hands down my favorite treat of the trip.
I loved it. I felt like am I a member of the Beatles right now recording a music video?
Were they big on that? Well, I guess they were British.
Yeah, well, I've seen one video at least of them eating fish and chips, and so I've always associated fish and chips with the Beatles.
Yeah, and that's a little trick if you go to London. The key item to put on the fish and chips is actually a malt vinegar. It adds just a little bit of punch, and it's unbelievable. Very good.
Yeah, I think the bottle had a couple of monks on there, and it tastes amazing.
hmm Yeah, the bangers and mash again. For those that don't know, that's London speak for sausage and essentially mashed potatoes, right?
Correct, and absolutely loved the way how everything in London had just kind of a different name. You'd think, oh, well, that's a sausage or a kielbasa or whatever. No, they call it a banger over there, which it's just like, I really feel like I am in a different place.
Yeah, and I don't want to discourage anybody from visiting. It is English that they speak there still. So if you're coming from America, it's easy to get around. You know the language already. They have a few code words for different items.
When we were in London, I truly felt like we were transported to another place entirely, much in the way that Marvel's Avengers Endgame transported us to another, dream world, basically.
Exactly. And similarly, I don't want to put anybody off to the Avengers. It is basically our world that they're in, but an alternate version where they have superhero type people and monsters and creatures too. But it's friendly enough and familiar enough that you feel at home while watching the film, but it has a mystical element to it.
And I think that now that we've kind of laid the groundwork, maybe we should go into the spoiler portion of the episode and kind of discuss the film more in depth. This is after you've seen the film, maybe this is kind of where you'll want to, we'll say right now, pause if you have not seen the film, but if you have seen it, from here on out is where you're going to kind of want to watch.
Yeah, and we were not given any sort of insider information into the following films. We're strictly going to be talking Avengers Endgame, so if you saw that film, you will know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so let's go. As a fan of the Captain America film franchise, I truly couldn't believe that his character is done after this.
Right.
That was really amazing to me, and I got choked up. Same with Iron Man. The fact that Iron Man, they just said no more Iron Man. Black Panther, who knows? He looked like he was kind of messed up.
He looked kind of sick when he got back, yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to be saying Wakanda forever with him, because it might be Wakanda is over.
Hopefully not. I mean, there were other characters in the Black Panther film to maybe carry on the legacy.
True.
But it was a sad situation with what was going on there. Fortunately, I was a big fan of the Captain Marvel movie. It was great to see her back, just kicking butt, as they say, typical superhero behavior. She's running around with the crew that was remaining, trying to defeat Thanos, which is, he had this glove on in the film. This is not actually the screen use prop, but it is a replica.
To be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't look like that's an officially licensed product.
I think it... Well, hopefully it is. I don't know for sure. I did get it online.
The build quality is a bit lower than my Gamma Grip hands, which I have here.
Yeah, those did have the Avengers branding on the box. This was shipped to me in a clear plastic bag.
I would guess that's some kind of cheap knockoff, not to insult your prop, but I do feel mine are a little more accurate to the film.
That I do want to, if you can see it, it is not exactly screen accurate, but I'm kind of feeling bad about this now, as almost a betrayal to the Disney folks that brought us out. I did not know that this was not officially licensed. Looking back on the situation now, it would appear so. There was no official box that it came in or branding on the bag.
I mean, even the tip-off would be kind of the build quality, or look how floppy this rubber is. It's not looking too good.
Yeah.
And these, as you can see, these retain the structure. They look almost as if they're taken from a CGI cast, because they have all the detailing of Hulk's hands in the film.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure that this isn't real, but...
Well, even the gems don't appear to be the correct colors.
They don't have the luster that they had in the film.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a little bit...
It's got the green one from his daughter, though.
I didn't see that one.
Okay, well, if it is fake, I do want to apologize to Disney. I did not know. But I was just kind of getting into the theme for the review. Well, should we just get to you want to jump into the review portion of it? I could take it off if it's gonna. You think it's a licensing issue?
Go ahead.
Take it off or leave it on?
It's up to you, but I do think it's a little disrespectful.
Could I borrow a Hulk hand?
Go ahead. Oh, it's coming off on me.
This is kind of sweaty. The integrity of it is much firmer. Okay, well, let's jump into the review portion of Avengers Endgame.
Can I have to be honest with you, I feel like I feel like only half a Hulk right now.
I'm not gonna really have any theming.
Keep the theming inside. What is that? Is that Ant-Man crawling on you?
Hey, little guy. Put him in my pocket.
There you go.
Don't
now
throw
you're good
up
to
in
go.
there.
Okay. I do feel better that I have them both.
All right, fair enough. Well, okay, I'm Ant-Man now.
Well, you're not Ant-Man. You have Ant-Man on you.
Oh,
look out, Wasp.
I didn't see it.
Evangeline Lilly from Lost.
And the Ant-Man movies.
Right.
Well, okay, let's just pretend that I'm Captain America because I kind of look like him.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get into the final review portion then. We'll grab our helmets here. These are obviously the Critic helmets. These were not used in the film Avengers. You want some help there?
That's a little hard with that.
Well, if you gave me one, this would have been... Okay. Yeah, these are the Critics' helmets. These had nothing to do with Avengers Endgame. I don't want to give any false hopes that we were actually characters in the film. We were just invited by the folks at Disney. Again, thank you so much. Thank you to the flight attendants. Do you have any more thanks you want to give before we issue?
I mean, just thanks to the hotel staff and just the people of London, England. I thought it was a beautiful place.
Yep.
Can't wait to get back and have another spot of tea.
That we had a lot of tea there, and it's now become one of my favorite drinks. I used to enjoy chocolate milk.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no bias here. We were treated very well by everybody, and they did pay our way out there. But we are serious critics still. Want to make sure that's clear. And this will be our actual personal feelings on the film. Do you want to go off first?
Yeah, I'll take the lead on this one. Obviously, it's an emotional journey to get to this point with a film. The experience was beautiful. To even to be able to see Ant-Man walk by, or Scarlett Johansson, or any of the stars, the directors, the Russo brothers. I want to say personally thank you to everybody in the film for making a work of art like this. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and it exceeded all expectations. So obviously, I'm a little sad to say goodbye to certain characters such as Iron Man or Black Panther, or even Spider-Man. I thought he was going to have a few more movies in him.
That was upsetting, yeah.
But overall, I loved the movie. It moved me like a work of art is supposed to. I give it an A+.
Wow. It's very generous of you. I thought the film was fantastic. There are all the superheroes that we have grown to love in this film. Being in the Marvel universe, there's no Batman or anything, obviously, but everybody came together to kind of conquer evil, which in the film was Thanos, the purple guy. And it's such a triumph of technical filmmaking, computer filmmaking, storytelling, acting. The actors really shone through in these films by portraying their characters. I overall absolutely enjoyed it. I thought it was probably the best superhero film to date. So while I think your review was generous, I too will give it an A+. All right.
Absolutely agree with you. It's a fabulous film, and it's a tribute to one of our critics in arms, one of our fallen comrades. In honor of Mr. Roger Ebert, I give it thumbs up.
And yeah, you're just showing off the whole can.
These are licensed. I feel pretty proud about them.
Okay, well, I do want to give respect to Roger Ebert as well. Give him a thumbs up.
It's kind of a baby thumb.
Well, that's all I got.
Should have bought a licensed gauntlet next time.
I'll look into it more next time. Well, that's been it for our review on Avengers Endgame. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we hope you enjoyed the film if you got to see it. Obviously not with us because we were at the world premiere. And that's all. So we hope you have a great weekend. And if you haven't seen the film, go ahead and go check that out in theaters. It's out now. And God bless you all.